The following opinions are solely those of BoatTEST.com and its test captain.
Hi, I'm Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today we're on the CLA76 Flybridge from CL Yachts, the newly rebranded luxury yacht division of the venerable Cheoy Lee Shipyard. It's not only the nameplate that's changed, this CLA76 Flybridge has evolved since the model was first introduced a few years ago. Today, we'll be taking a look at our operational features and conducting a performance evaluation. Let's start at the swim platform, which is a two-stage hydraulically actuated model from TNT that has a 1,500-pound lifting capacity and can stow and launch a tender. It also serves as a teak beach, dropping down to let swimmers enjoy the water, but it also raises up to reduce drag while running. This transom door to the cruise quarters is hinged on the top and has gas assist ramps to help it open easily. It's designed to be usable even with a tender and even with the platform in its elevated position. The ship's AC and DC electrical system panels are located in the cruise quarters in lockers near the cruise galley. Other breaker panel access is in a cabinet near the formal dining table in the main salon and in a locker off the passageway on the lower deck. Back in the cruise quarters, the engine room door is forward to starboard and measures 64 inches by 19 inches wide. The engine room is well lit, as we've come to expect from Cheoy Lee. As we enter, the headroom is 6 feet 6 inches. The twin Caterpillar C18 acerts are placed 42 inches apart, providing plenty of walking space between. These two 1,136 horsepower engines are inline 6-cylinder diesels that are only about 47 inches wide. Because the boat's beam is 19 feet 8 inches, there's plenty of room outboard of the engines to easily get around in this engine room. Additionally, there's 35.5 inches above the engines, and that's high enough that if they ever need repair, they can actually be raised on an A-frame right here in the engine room and likely won't need to be taken out. Each engine is surrounded by a safety rail. Raw water comes into the boat through the sea chest mounted on the center line, reducing the number of through-hull fittings to 1. Graco sea strainers are easy to open and clean. The raw water hoses for the Dometic chilled water air conditioning system and the generator come right off the sea chest as well, so no need to be a contortionist to find the shutoff levers to close them. The exhaust systems on this boat are well supported to stay in place and not put stresses on the turbo housing. Note the 4 stainless steel supports running from the exhaust to the engine mounts to keep it immobilized. This is twice the number we usually see. The owner of this boat decided to upgrade from the standard 32 kW Onan generator to this 36 kW Kohler for a number of reasons, including the powering of the Seakeeper SK16 gyro. Air enters the engine room through Delta T demisters right above the generator. They filter water and salt spray out of the air to reduce the chance of corrosion in the engine room. Its fans are waterproof and can run indefinitely. The sea fire suppression system uses pressurized nitrogen rather than dry chemical, and being calibrated to handle this specific engine room, it will fully discharge in less than 10 seconds without harming any of the engine room's equipment. Finally, no first-class engine room would be complete without the duplex Raycor fuel water separators, but before the fuel system even gets to the Raycors, it goes through the Reverso 150 gallon-per-hour fuel polishing system. The engine room has 2 other entry points, a watertight door from the master stateroom closet on the forward bulkhead, and a hatch in the overhead to the aft deck up a 5-step ladder. The shore power cable operates on a Glendinning cable reel system behind a cover in the starboard quarter. The fuel fill and fire suppression system pull switch are in a locker on the porthouse side. The CLA76 Fly has side decks to either side of the superstructure, one 9.5-inch step up from the cockpit. The bow rail is 31 inches high for its entire run forward, and there's LED courtesy lights along the full length. The stanchions are rigged forward to accentuate the yacht's sleek styling. The ground tackle consists of an 88.2-pound Bruce-type anchor on a stainless steel roller pulpit with 200 feet of galvanized anchor chain. There's a Maxwell RC12 hydraulic windlass that feeds the chain into a road locker just below. A hose bib is provided to rinse the tackle as it's retrieved. Boat controls are under stainless steel covers to starboard. Both lower and upper helm stations also have remote windlass control. The road locker is beneath a hatch to port where the chain is fed through a pipe. There's good access to the chain, including a couple of welded steel diamond pattern steps to let the operator get down in there easily. The main helm is to starboard. The helm dash consists of an angled upper pod on stainless steel stanchions. There's a lower console with an angled top panel and some varied geometry where the switches and instruments mount. On the upper pod are a pair of touchscreen Garmin multifunction displays. Between the 2 displays are, from the top, a dedicated 4-inch Garmin autopilot control, a radar indicator, and a networked 4-inch display that can be set to show key data. I really like the autopilot control at the top of the pod in line of sight, but of course I'd like a remote control on the outboard armrest. On the top row of the lower console are the touchscreen C-Zone digital switching control, the Caterpillar port engine monitoring unit, the Seakeeper gyro stabilizer control, the starboard engine monitoring unit, and the Kohler genset control unit. There's a compass on the center line lined up with the hub of the vertical steering wheel and flanked by the windshield wiper control and side power bow and stern thrusters to port, and the zip wake interceptor tabs and ACR remote control spotlight to starboard. All the way to starboard is the ZF control and shift binnacle with engine start buttons and electrical system push buttons directly beneath. The Stid helm seat is 20 inches wide and upholstered. It's built around a powder-coated stainless steel frame, has flip-down footrests, adjusts for optimal position, and can also serve as a leaning bolster. There's a 3-pane windshield at a steep rake, each pane with its own wiper and freshwater washers. The mullions in the corners and between the panes are robust to help support the flying bridge, and so they do take some getting used to. Defoggers are provided. The flying bridge is accessed from a ladder in the cockpit, and the top is protected by a stainless steel gate. There's a helm station on the centerline forward behind a fiberglass surround topped with a stainless steel rail that's 31 inches high and a molded fiberglass Venturi-style windblock forward. The upper helm has much of the same equipment as the lower helm station. 2 touchscreen Garmin multifunction displays anchor the top half of a 2-tiered dashboard. The upper panel has a compass on centerline with an integrated 4-inch instrument display and an autopilot control above. This helm has a pair of Stid helm chairs, one on the centerline and another to port. These seats are on lower pedestals to work with the seat height helm station and have the same flip-up armrests and multiple adjustment points as the lower helm chair. In addition to the 2 helm stations, there's a ZF wired remote that plugs into a jack on the aft deck and has a 20-foot cable allowing the operator to control the main engine throttle and shift as well as bow and stern thrusters. There's another jack on the flying bridge on the aft end of the galley console. The CLA76 is among the lightest flybridge motor yachts we've tested for her size, and this is achieved in many ways. Her foam core hull is resin infused and made out of a sophisticated carbon fiber and e-glass composite that's been engineered by Gurit, a U.S. company that's a leader in composite applications for aerospace, automotive, and marine use. Water impervious vinyl ester resins are used throughout, and there's an epoxy barrier on the hull bottom. Her tanks are integral to the hull, which saves weight and lowers CG. Her cabinetry and bulkheads are cored with honeycomb. All decks are resin-infused fiberglass cored with foam and finished smooth, top and bottom. This represents a big weight savings over the plywood other builders use. The result of all this is a lighter weight hull that can be fuel efficient and driven with smaller engines than otherwise. The CLA76 Flybridge has a length overall of 76 feet 6 inches, a beam of 19 feet 8 inches, and a draft of 5 feet 5 inches. With a dry displacement of 107,000 pounds, 244 gallons of fuel, 200 gallons of water, and 4 people on board, we had an estimated test weight of 110,854 pounds. Powered with a pair of 1,136 horsepower Caterpillar C18 Acerts matched to ZF 550A marine gears and 5-bladed S-Class propellers on straight shafts, we reached the top speed of 29.7 knots at 2320 RPM. Best economy was at 10.1 knots and 1,000 RPM, where she burned 14 gallons per hour for a range of 682 nautical miles. The fuel economy leveled off at 0.3 nautical miles per gallon at RPM levels above 1750, where she did 19.8 knots, with a fuel burn of 63 gallons per hour and a range of 297.2 nautical miles. On test day, we had choppy sea conditions with 2 to 4 footers affecting her top speed, which would have certainly been higher in flat water. For acceleration, the CLA76 Fly accelerated from 0 onto plane in 9.7 seconds and onto 20 knots in 12.6 seconds. On the water, the CLA76 responded well to steering and throttle controls. Though her hull carries a bit of her volume forward, she has a sharp entry for comfort, and her chine and strakes kept her dry in the seas during our test. While she does shed some speed on turn, she has a pleasant inboard lean. When steering from below, there are a lot of structural components that can obscure sightlines aft, so it's important to clear space before turning. Overall, she handled our real-world test conditions handily, and we wouldn't hesitate to take her out in bigger stuff. Around the dock, she's easy to manage thanks to the large props used in conjunction with the bow and stern thrusters, all easily accessible with the wired remote control. We like the versatility of the plug-in remote for docking stern to from either the stern or the flying bridge. Because it's on a long cable, an owner-operator can stand on the side deck or swim platform and dock the boat. So with a combination of lightweight and good handling characteristics both at and away from the dock, the CLA76 makes an ideal cruising yacht. She's also loaded with interior comfort and clever entertainment layouts, but that's another video. Be sure to look for it. For now, that's our full test and performance evaluation of the CLA76 Flybridge from CL Yachts. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.